All right, I like the look of this. Okay, we have a hard stop at 10:30. There's another press conference coming in, so we're just going to jump right into it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. My name is Katie Baker, and I'm here on behalf of the Virginia Public Sector Labor Coalition, which comprises Virginia AFL-CIO, AFSCME, the American Federation of Teachers, the Communications Workers of America, which also represent our campus workers, SEIU Virginia 512, the Virginia Education Association, the Virginia Professional Firefighters, Unite Here, and the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 400. Collectively, we represent hundreds of thousands of Virginia workers across the Commonwealth. And I also want to shout the other unions who are here. I think I saw SMART. I saw Teamsters. Did I miss anybody? Shout out your union if I missed your union. AAUP. Woo! So we're here today because we're so excited that the Virginia House Labor and Commerce Committee today will be taking up legislation, HB 1236, sponsored by House Democratic Caucus Chair Kathy Tran, to extend collective bargaining rights to more than 500,000 of Virginia's public sector workers, including campus workers all across the Commonwealth at Virginia's public universities. This law will give them the freedom to collectively bargain for things like their wages, their benefits, and their working conditions. And as an alum of William and Mary myself, it is my honor to have our first speaker be a William and Mary worker, Miss Margaret Moore. Miss Margaret.
Let's go, Margaret.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Marguerite Moore. I am a custodian worker at William & Mary, and I have worked there for 2 years. I'm here because the university workers make it impossible for the students in Virginia to learn in a safe, clean environment, but we are not treated with respect and dignity. I did back-breaking work that was unnotified. I injured my ankle in a hole that was negligence to the school where it was covered with leaves, and I sprained my ankle. I was denied workman's comp due to, I was on lunch break when it happened. So I was denied workman's comp. So I was without work for two months, and bills got behind, and they did not pay for my medical bills. Our managers have moved me around. I came back from the ankle injury to be moved to another building, which is it's a big new building, which there's no staff. There's only 2 temp workers, and I'm by myself, which they don't care about my well-being of my ankle. When I was moved, they changed my schedule. I was Tuesday through Saturday, and Mondays were my day off for my daughter who was diagnosed with cancer. And they didn't care about that, so they still put me Monday through Friday and actually moved me to this building. So everything was unnoticed. The things aren't just happening to me, they're happening to our co-workers. It is unacceptable that we work our jobs without respect. I get paid $15 an hour. Only had a 3% raise, almost 2 years. William and Mary used enslaved labor for over 150 years, and today there are people working there whose families worked there as slaves hundreds of years ago. I still feel like I'm being treated like a slave. My manager even told me I was going to sweat this summer, and I was told to clean the buildings. The ban of college bargaining for state workers is left over from Jim Crow campus workers like me need a seat at the table, and we must overturn this racist legacy in Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore, and I just wanted to expand on something you said. Yes, that ban on collective bargaining is rooted all the way back in the 1940s when black nurses at UVA Hospital tried to organize. So next, we will have a speaker from UVA, Steph Guntz. Steph.
My name is Steph Gunst. I'm a senior administrative coordinator in the School of Medicine at the University of Virginia. I'm also a proud member of United Campus Workers, and I'm current chair of the UVA chapter's Living Wage campaign. I'm here to add my voice to this chorus of those fighting for collective bargaining rights of all campus workers. Unlike most of my friends on the Living Wage campaign and elsewhere at the university, I do earn a living wage as a staff member. But I finally got a living wage, which currently is $52,000 according to the MIT Living Wage Calculator. In 2023, after 7 years of depressed wages as a graduate student and then as a part-time contingent employee. I also needed help from my parents to pay medical bills following my cancer diagnosis during grad school despite having school health insurance. Outside of my excellence in my work, there are other non-merit-based reasons why I have my current salary, including that I have people who are advocating for me, and I work for a section of UVA that has a good budget. In short, a lot of why I have a living wage comes down to sheer luck of where I landed. I really like where I am and the work that I do and the people I work with, but each school and each department within those schools are funded so differently from one another. My specific job role has a salary range of over $40,000, which means that some people with my same job title do not actually earn a living wage. The system is rooted in arbitrary standards and individual decisions. In this system, your work ethic does not matter if your boss does not like you and will not advocate for you. There are many reasons why collective bargaining is important, and I think this is a big one. Collective bargaining ensures that we can get our bosses to come to the table so we can negotiate our own value without them being the gatekeepers. I have heard the stories of so many workers at UVA who love their research, love their work with students, love to help ensure their departments run smoothly. But that love can only go so far if institutions do not materially support the people that got them where they are. We know that universities will lobby and fundraise to the tune of billions of dollars for what is important to them, and we hope that will include resourcing the workers who provide the high-quality research and education that is our mission. Collective bargaining is how every worker gets to have a voice and ensures that the institutions will hear them. I look forward to this bill passing out of committee this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steph. And next we will have Dr. Bethany Latique, who's a professor at George Mason and representing AFT and AAUP. Doctor.
Thank you. My name is Bethany Latique, and I am a professor at George Mason University. I'm president of the GMU chapter of the American Association of University Professors, and I'm a proud member of the AFT-AUP Local 6741. First, thank you to Delegate Tran for sponsoring the collective bargaining bill, and thanks to all my union brothers and sisters across the Commonwealth who have organized, mobilized, and waited far too long for this moment. I also want to thank all the senators who intervened at my institution when a rogue board of visitors, fueled by bogus federal investigations and Governor Youngkin's political interference, tried to fire President Washington. These leaders took bold action alongside AFT, AAUP members, faculty, students, alumni, and community allies. We saved President Washington's job. It was a great show of solidarity. I just wish all workers could count on that level of fight. Like my Mason colleague, I'll call her Jane. She asked me not to use her name because she fears retaliation. Jane has been an adjunct professor for nearly a decade, earning about $4,000 per course. Even though the pay is low, she loves her job. She loves her students, fostering their curiosity, their critical thinking, building their skill sets, nurturing their talent. Well, a few weeks ago, after Jane prepared her courses and signed her contract, she was told that she was no longer needed. Her contract was terminated just 2 days before the semester began. No pay, no protections, no recourse. Now Jane is scrambling to cover childcare, put food on the table, and find another job. She's devastated. And she is afraid to speak out because retaliation could mean she can never teach again. There are too many Janes. There are too many Janes at Mason. There are too many Janes across the Commonwealth. This is why I'm here. Most hired workers don't have the powerful protections and support President Washington had when his job was on the line. Most receive no health insurance, no retirement benefits, and even have to pay to park when they teach on our campus. Juxtapose Jane's story with another, that of Mike Pence. Yes, that Mike Pence. I was stunned to learn that Mason pays Mike Pence $150,000 to co-teach one course this year. Let that sink in. It would take Jane nearly 10 years to earn that amount, teaching 4 times as many courses per year. This is not by accident. It tells us exactly how power and money are distributed in our institutions. The inequities are grossly unfair and unjust. We need collective bargaining to bring fairness, respect, and dignity to Mason's campus and across Virginia. Don't make workers wait any longer. The time is now to pass this enabling legislation for hired workers, for all public workers. And when the university leaders say there is no money for collective bargaining, remember this, $150,000 for one course. There's money. Let us get to that bargaining table to solve that problem together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Latique. And I know Miss Sequoia may have been running late. Did she come in?
Yes.
All right. So we've got Miss Sequoia Ali.
Come on over.
Thank you. Grand Rising, everyone. I'm Sequoia. My name is Sequoia Cox Ali. I'm a representative for university workers out of Old Dominion University and across Virginia. I'm a resident in the Hampton Roads area, and I work at the cafeteria staff at Old Dominion. I'm a supervisor at Subway. I'm also a member of Local 23 here, and we were able to negotiate a contract with our university. And I just want to let you guys know that when we united together, we were able to bargain and negotiate a contract that would secure our employment and that would better our wages and give us affordable health insurance and have a future with a pension. We really want to be able to have the same rights as other state workers. We want to be able to have the other university workers to have the same rights as us, to be able to equally negotiate contracts. And we want university workers to be able to stay afloat. We as university workers, there will be no home for students if there wasn't any university workers, the way that we impact the university's lives. From the groundskeepers to the cafeteria workers to the housekeeping department, those are the university workers and state workers that keep the universities afloat. We, give the university workers a better position as student, faculty, and staff to be able to have a successful school year. From when you come to the school, you see the school grounds. You go to the cafeterias, you go to the dining halls. We are the counsel to the students that when the teachers are not there, the counseling at the school students are not there. Anybody that's ever been to a university knows that you have a home at a university. Those workers there at the university, the housekeeping department, the dining workers, they become the mother, the uncles, the dads, the sisters, the brothers that's absent from the home when they're not home, at home. So, we university workers, they become a family there. And we work there for 20, 30, 40 years. And we deserve to be able to retire with pension, to retire without our backs aching, our feet hurting, to be able to enjoy our retirement without being weighed down. And, we are not just university workers, we are human. We all deserve the rights to be able to negotiate a contract that will be able to help the betterment of all our lives, to help the atmosphere when we go to work. When you have a good atmosphere when you're making better wages, you have a good atmosphere when nobody's sick on the job. You have a good atmosphere when you have a good people that feel like they can really go to work and not feel like they're disrespected by management, disrespected by anything that's going on. You want a safe space when you go there. So we, as university workers, we make a safe space, and we have the rights. We should have the same rights as anybody to be able to negotiate any contract here across Virginia. And being that I work for a university that have a contract. We have a union at our university, at Old Dominion University. And what it helped for what I see, I can now go to work and have a schedule that I don't have to change. I can have a life outside my schedule. I can go to the doctor and don't have to pay a healthy price amount of, be able to go to the doctor and afford the doctor, because when I didn't have a union there, I wasn't able to afford my Medicaid, my Medicare, my medical care. I wasn't able to afford those things. So, I talk to people 20, 30 years that's about to retire from the universities, and they're retired at $19 hourly wages. They're retiring because now, and they can't retire yet because they have to wait for Medicare, because the insurance that they have won't cover the insurance they're about to get with Social Security. So, I talk to people that still paying in Social Security and have retired already. People that's retired that still can't retire because they still have to work because they're not afforded. They don't have pensions. When able to negotiate a contract and have a pension, that's a wonderful thing, because we can see that money later on in life, and we don't have to work as hard, and the company actually is paying it to us. So, just being able to have a workspace and a work environment that is secure. We have job security. This is not a right to work state. We would like it to be, not to be. But I'm sorry. I just want to let you know that, we are human. We deserve to have the equal rights with each other. If we are able to negotiate a contract in the university I'm at, why not the state workers? Why not the peers? Why not the people that work side by side with us every day? Why not have the same rights as each other equally? Why not see them be able to actually have a doctor? Not have to rob Peter to pay Paul. Not have to think about, but am I going to get this health insurance, or am I going to pay my rent this month? Am I going, things like that to people, or am I going to buy this food, or do I have to pay? We don't even make enough money to be able to pay 3 times the rent that they're asking for now. We don't make that money at these universities. Our universities don't pay us, but we hold the universities up. If it wasn't for the workers, the university wouldn't stay afloat. If it wasn't for the students, it wouldn't make it a family life. And anybody that ever been to the university, I'm pretty sure that you have developed a relationship with a worker that was there, a nurse that was there, a counselor, a groundsman, somebody that helped you out, even through the times that you didn't think you needed. I oftentimes have, I've been working at the university since 2009. So it's a lot of students that I've seen come and go. They come back, they love to see us when they come back. It becomes a family, like I said before. And just to see them want to put back, just to see them, just to see the student workers. I work side by side by student workers. To hear them complaining about the wages they're paid, their students. Why be still getting paid $13 an hour? That's crazy. And the society that we live in today is not affordable. The wages that we're given, our minimum wage is not affordable. The cost of living is too high to be able to afford rent places, to be even afford insurance. So why not be able to collectively bargain when those are our rights to do? And we're better people when we do that. We're better people when we have those things that we need to even live in this society. Health insurance. Everybody needs mental health care. Everybody needs to be able to have somebody to talk to, an outlet. Everybody needs to be able to go to the doctor. We have all the COVID, all these viruses, flu viruses. What if people don't have medical care? Then we all gonna be sick. Seriously. And we should all think about that. We are each other's keepers. We see each other and walk past each other every day with the hospital staff, the hospital work that we give at the grocery stores. I'm talking about all service to the people. We are a service to the people, the hospitality workers. We deserve to be treated with respect, to be cared for, and to be able to have, be able to give the respect that we give. Everybody have the right for that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Sequoia. And we're going to close it out with Harry Sabo, who is the president of the United Campus Workers of Virginia and also a teacher at VCU. Harry.
Thank you. You have to bear with me while I get my little laptop out. All right. So I'm the president of United Campus Workers, and I'm currently a term faculty member at VCU, which means that I'm a non-tenure eligible faculty member. I will never have tenure in this position. I have held many roles at the university. I've been an undergraduate worker. I've been a graduate student worker where I taught my own classes. I've been an adjunct, and I've been this full-time faculty member. I've been employed by VCU for about 15 years. And I and all of my coworkers need the restoration of our collective bargaining rights. So I was a graduate TA from 2015 to 2018 at VCU. I was teaching classes. I was actually teaching the same class I teach now. During that time, I made $14,000 a year. I lived in a laundry room to make ends meet. It was like washer, dryer, twin bed. I remember it being a really big deal at the end of a month one time when I realized I had enough money left over to get like a whole roast chicken and some potato wedges. That was a nice dinner. More than 10 years later, I have graduate TAs of my own, and they are still making $14,000 a year. I don't know how they're living. Like, I sincerely don't. This is an equity issue. It means that the people who can afford to go to graduate school in Virginia are people who can afford to accept that rate of pay, which means that they have to get their money somewhere else. This is not fair to students of color, students who are parents, working class and first generation students, students who need to support their elders or their families. Let me tell you about some of the other workers who make up our union. We have graduate students who work and teach and learn while earning well below the poverty line. We have adjuncts who are contract employees making poverty wages and working 3- and 4-month contracts with no guarantee of employment from semester to semester. There are undergraduate students, including residential assistants, who work for their housing, and therefore, if they lose their jobs, they lose the place that they sleep. There are recycling plant workers, there are parking deck workers, there are office support staff, there are professors, the majority of whom don't have tenure, and many of whom are still recovering from their time as graduate student workers. Collective bargaining is for all of us. It is for our graduate students. It's for our undergraduate students who deserve to be taught by people who can afford things like groceries and housing. It's for our staff who deserve safe working environments and equitable benefits. And it's for our communities who deserve a quality university system and not a shoestring one. Collective bargaining for state employees is an affordability measure. It makes life more affordable not just for us, but for everyone in our orbit, because all of a sudden, all of us impoverished workers will be able to spend money. We will pay rent, we will buy from Virginia businesses, we will drive economic development, and more importantly, we will be able to provide a quality of education for our students that will empower them to seek new opportunities and lead better lives. We have tried in this country just giving all of our money to millionaires and billionaires and hoping that they will give us back handouts. I'm going to ask you all, how do you think that's working out?
Not well.
So, what if we tried empowering people to meet their own needs? Collective bargaining is not a handout from the wealthy. It's a chance for working people to have self-determination and to be able to negotiate with our employers for our working conditions. We teach Virginia students every day. We know what we need to be able to do that job well. We need to be able to talk to our bosses as a group, and we need them to be obligated to listen and to respond in good faith. That's what collective bargaining means, the power to negotiate on fair terms. Thank you.
Right, and that actually kept us on time, so I think we have time for questions just from press today. I know we got a lot of supporters in the room. If any reporters have questions, Jad.
It sounds like y'all are concerned that you might not be included in the collective bargaining bill. Is that the case?
So, we've been working with our college administrations long enough to know that sometimes they go behind our backs. Sometimes they take individual meetings. They try to divide workers from each other, and they try to divide students from workers. We are currently in the version of the bill that is going before Labor and Commerce today. We are doing everything in our power to stay in that bill.
Elizabeth?
Will you still support the bill if you're exempted?
United Campus Workers will. I don't hope that we get there. And if higher education workers are excluded, that will also include other unions like Unite Here and AEP, so it's not just us.
Joe?
Could you talk a little bit, when we're talking about professors specifically, talk about like maybe that kind of dynamic between people really wanting to do that for a living, and maybe the people paying y'all like knowing that, brought up Jan earlier, who, for instance, was paid a very low wage, but she loves doing it. I was just curious if anyone wanted to comment on that.
Like, what's the question?
The question would just be like, how have you all seen that wanting to have that job being taken advantage of by the people who pay you all? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think also to some extent, framing this as like a choice that we are making to stay in this field of employment is not accurate. Many of us live in these university towns. The universities are the employers in those towns, and we've received degrees from them that qualify us for this job and overqualify us for other jobs. So a lot of the time, it's not so much, I mean, we love our work, but I don't think we have as much choice as people imagine that we have.
Okay, so, yeah, Channel 6?
This is for the communication workers, guys.
That's me, CWA?
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. How does this affect the communication workers who already have a union, or any unions that already have a union? Is it all clumped together as everybody's one union? I mean, can you kind of break it down a little bit?
Sure. So I can talk about how my specific local relates to this, Communication Workers of America. Communication Workers of America sought out campus workers in states without collective bargaining to build unions and to, get to the point that we're at now. We've had full, wonderful support from telecommunications workers as we've been in pursuit of this. They've, supplied us with staff. They've given us expertise. They've let us use their union hall for meetings. They've supported us, and we hope to support them too.
Okay, well, thank you. Oh, yeah, Commonwealth Times?
Yes, so you described very briefly the role that graduate workers play in being paid by the university and being potentially represented by collective bargaining. Can you describe a little bit more about how student workers could benefit or not benefit from a repeal of the ban?
Yeah, so right now, student workers are some of the most vulnerable because, they go to the university and often end up relying on the university for their employment. I think that they stand to benefit quite a lot. One of the things that I was approached about actually by one of the members of my union when I had TAs of my own was equitable practices in terms of their workload, because many graduate TAs and other TAs end up doing all of their professors' grading. I would be proud to help graduate student workers negotiate language in their contract around equitable labor practices and hours worked. That's a huge one. People love to offload work onto graduate workers. And if we get collective bargaining, they're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Brad?
It's a messy one, but they've redrawn districts, congressional districts, and grouped like 11 state colleges into one district in the middle of the state. If things don't go well, would you guys consider leveraging your new voting authority in these districts to make a statement about whether or not Democrats are on your side or not?
I'll be honest.
She's nodding.
I'll be honest, I think that we need to win public sector collective bargaining before we go for any more ambitious power grabs, but thank you.
All right, I've got one question for the group. What happens when we fight?
We win!
All right, let's get a photo.